I'm at the city right now and I'm just waiting for the ferry to come. I'm gonna go back to Hobson Milk Point. It's been a good day. It's very familiar to me because I've been here in 2018 and I also work around the city, so it didn't feel like it was a culture shock or different. I just like the vibe in New Zealand because it's really very different. Like even if you are in the city, there are different kinds of noises. The restaurant music, people talking, the vehicles, and the ferry terminal, ferries coming. I don't know. It's just it has that peaceful vibe. I love it, and it's amazing. It's the type of vibe that I want to have in my life, even if you're surrounded by many noises. It just feels peaceful. And I guess it's something that I have to choose when I go back to the Philippines, to choose to have within rather than dependent on my environment. It's nice, right? Yeah.
Atua, nena kia hiria tia, kei kunai ngā ringa awhina. He waka awa hikore tēnei, tai mua ki te whakamāhinga o ngā hikorite. Ko tō haumarutanga, te whakaaru tō mua nui eke nei i te waka ofu.
Well, that's fine.
Let me tell you one dumb move that I did today. So my plan today was to come and watch my colleagues' band concert at St. Andrew's Center. However, I went to St. Andrew's Church. And I arrived after an hour late on the original time. So here I am. I can't even come in because I think the doors are already closed. I'm waiting outside. So cold and it's raining and everything. And I also need to go to the toilet right now. What a dumb move. That's okay, it's okay. Lesson learned, always check if there are other place that has the same name as the place that you are going to every time. If you're not familiar with it, if your first time. So that's the concert that I came here for. Can you hear it? So my plan was actually to vlog it, but well, it's music, so you don't have to see it. Just listen, like me outside. Can you hear it? Maybe not. I just came from the church, and the message was about the book of Revelation. So it's a series about the book of Revelation, and then for this week they talk about the 7 churches. It's nice to see doctrinal and biblical stories like that to be presented in such a way that you would understand how those histories will help you in your life. And then there's one thing that Pastor Hamish said that resonates with me, and that is about the story of the Church of Laodicea. And the story about them was that God is telling them that they are lukewarm. They are not hot, neither cold. They are lukewarm. And God hates lukewarm. And his message was around holding fast to who God is in our lives. Whether you are in a good situation, you hold fast to God, you celebrate with God. Whether you are in a challenging situation, you hold fast to who God is, his faithfulness to your life. And I think it's helpful to see that perspective in life, that Christians are very much like this. They come to the church and sometimes they pretend to be okay. They become pretentious of their state in life. They feel like they cannot feel not okay. They feel like they can't be showing this seemingly negative emotions of loneliness, of feeling of helplessness, of feeling of giving up. And that's what I realize is that, God wants us to show and come to him with our most honest, authentic, most vulnerable version of who we are. Because sometimes we feel ashamed. We feel like we shouldn't be feeling this way because we are Christian. We are always hopeful. We're always cheerful. But in reality, we are not. We're not always cheerful. We're not always hopeful.
Sometimes we feel tired. Sometimes we are exhausted. And so that is one powerful message to, I guess, all Christians that needs to be reminded, is that it's okay. It's okay to not feel okay. And it's okay to come to God not feeling okay. And it's okay to sometimes not feel that hope that is coming from the Lord. And when feeling that way, it doesn't mean that you're not a Christian anymore, or not portraying to, you're not choosing to be the right, right picture of what a Christian is. It's not. And we're not perfect. And we're not always strong. And we're not always happy. And I guess that's the kind of authenticity that God wants in our lives, is to come to Him whatever we feel, wherever we are. If we're happy, then that's good. We praise with God. If we're sad, that's good. We come to God. We hold fast to God. We hold fast to His faithfulness to our lives.
See? Okay. I'm gonna wash the dishes while I cook, and then I'll talk to you so that I don't get bored. So I'm gonna cook pasta right now, and then chicken, and then corn while washing the dishes. This is not the normal picture of how I operate every day in the Philippines, but this is my normal here in New Zealand. So let's do it. I don't know if I have shared why I don't like cooking. It's not that I don't like cooking, but it's just so you need to exert so much effort to do it. Not just only the cooking side, but just like the preparing one, and then after that you need to wash the dishes. So I always put it this way: you cook it for 1 hour, you eat it for 10 minutes, and then you wash the dishes for 30 minutes. That's why I don't feel like that is very time efficient. However, I do appreciate the people who enjoys cooking and preparing food. I feel like it's such a very selfless form of act to do for people. I do appreciate people cooking. I just don't like that. I don't want to do it myself. But I realized that it's not bad too. I mean, it's kind of distressing as well to cook and to wash the dishes all at the same time. So I appreciate my mom more for doing those things for me in the Philippines. So I'm having pasta today. I've been cooking pasta for the past few weeks that I was here. Actually, before I went here in the Philippines, there were times that I was also cooking pasta for myself. But I would say that I have improved so much now that I have cooked a lot more times here than when I was in the Philippines. And I can say that my pasta, this one, it's perfect, don't you think? I think it's perfect. It's cooked just the way how I would like it, because sometimes, some pasta are like overcooked. Sorry, I'm holding the camera with my one hand. And I don't like that. Like I like it a little bit thin and not overcooked. And so there's one that I have learned that you need to do when it's cooked, and that is putting this. So you need to put that. So I'm just gonna open. This is olive oil, by the way. So you need to put olive oil so that, oops, that's a lot. So that it will not stick. So since I will not eat this all today, I need to do that so that it won't stick together when
I stored it in the refrigerator. Now, what I'm gonna do is also just put fixing the view there. What I'm gonna do is I'll put pepper and salt now. I'll put now. And pepper. I actually put salt and pepper when I cook the pasta as well. And I also put olive oil when I was boiling it. So that's what I learned from, guess what? Gordon Ramsay. Learning from the best. Yeah, so that's how I do it. So I'm just gonna cool this down and then I'm gonna eat a portion of it. I'm not gonna eat everything today. I'm gonna eat this throughout the week. So yeah, that's me. And then what I'm gonna cook next is my chicken, my chicken breast. And then I'm gonna cook this one after that. My mom always cooked this for me every morning when I'm in the PH. So I'm gonna cook this one so that we will not miss our mom. That's my point.
I love you, Lord, for your mercy never fails me. All my days I've been held in your hand. From the moment that I wake up until I lay my head, I will sing of the goodness of God. All my life you have been faithful. All my life you have been so, so good. Every breath that I am able, oh, I will sing of the goodness of God.
Story time. So I started my comms level 2 training sessions today. Session 1 was today. And I was honestly very nervous coming into the first session. I do get nervous every time that I would run a training, or just every time that I would speak in front of people, or I would teach something in front of people. It's not something that I comfortably can do. But I always get a comment that I don't seem nervous at all. And this is actually one thing that I acknowledge that I'm good at. I'm very good at managing my emotions when I'm in the moment of the training. My nervousness happens before the training, a day before the training, an hour before the training. But when the training is happening, I really get into the moment. It's something that I think as you go through experiencing it a lot, you get that, self-management techniques that you can deploy every time you do feel nervous again. But the thing that I want to talk about is that there's one activity that we did this morning, and it's about what is your biggest insecurity. And I asked them to write their insecurity on a sticky note. And after writing that sticky note, we're not going to talk about it verbally. We're going to pass that sticky notes to the person next to us, next to me, for example, to the right. And then the person receiving the sticky notes will write a comment on the insecurity that you have written, and then it's gonna get passed to the next person again until it goes back to you. And so the insecurity that I wrote is around my fluency in English. I wrote there that I thought I was very good in English, which I think I have the ability to speak in English and, make myself clear in English. Transmit information, communicate the basics, and even the more complex one. But I wrote there that coming to New Zealand, I felt I was lacking. That was my insecurity there. And then the comments that I have received, which are anonymous, by the way, the comments that I have received were around, I had no problem understanding you at all. And then there were also comments that, this one comment that really encouraged me so much, and I am assuming who the person wrote that comment was, this person that I have in mind. Anyway, I'm not gonna tell who is it. Who is she? Who is she? Because I might be wrong. But her comment is like this. I think you are doing incredibly well. Running all this training to us natives is such a big responsibility, and you are really doing incredibly amazing. And I'm amazed on how you manage yourself so well, and your maturity is off the chart. And when I read that comment, the rest of the comments are also really pretty encouraging, but when I read that specific comment, I felt reassured of what I'm doing. I felt it raised objectivity. It raised another perspective. It raised, that the real truth of my situation. And that is one thing that is very good about getting perspective from other people. It's just that bringing what is the truth, because sometimes we feel like our thoughts, our feelings is the absolute and accurate truth of the situation. But sometimes you need to get another perspective to see through their lenses what is the truth, because sometimes we tend to be biased about ourselves or unbiased against ourselves. And so I realized when I was reading that, right, what a big responsibility that I am doing, running all these trainings to English natives, specifically running this communications training to natives. I'm teaching natives how to communicate better, which is funny. I'm teaching them using their language. I'm struggling with the language, but that's not the point. That's not the essence of my training. The essence of my training is not about the language. The essence of my training is deeper than that. And so it was nice that after the training, there were people who gave me a positive feedback about it, and I really felt very encouraged about it. And that gave me so much motivation to do better on the next sessions. And I will never ever take credit for any of this. I know that God is guiding me, and I know that it is God who is empowering me to do these things. Just come to think of it, how can I show myself courageous, running training for the managers, people with such high educational background, people with a lot of experiences in life. I'm running a training to those people. How do I show up myself courageous in front of these people? by my own strength. By my own strength, I cannot do it. But because God is empowering me to do all these things, I get to do them. I get to stand. I get to overcome my fear. I get to just do things beyond my capability because it's not really just me. It is about God, and He empowers me. It is through Him, by Him, that I'm able to do these things. So yeah, the main point of why I'm sharing is this story is that, you know, it's really impossible for me to accomplish things like this if it's not for God. The comment about the courage thing, it is not something that I can do by myself. I am being made courageous because of God. I'm not courageous by myself alone. My fear disappears because my faith increases. And that's the message that I want to leave to everyone tonight. And I hope that's helpful. Good night.
Look at the photo. Oh my goodness, look at that. That's Hi friend. Hiking. John?
뭐? 있잖아. magdamit ang paano ano.
들어가 뭐?
Pag